What's up, people? Welcome back to another Under 1,000 pod. I'm your host, Gershon. This is GP Snakes. Thank you for the first time, or thank you for coming back, whichever one that is for you. This is a live podcast. You will see I'll mess up real soon, and it'll be there. But this is a podcast where we bring on other YouTube reptile enthusiasts, hobbyists, and breeders, and we talk to them about their YouTube journey and their reptile journey. But that's actually going to change a little bit in season 3. Season 3, because this is season 2. So at the end of this year, we'll be going into season 3. You guys know how that works. We're actually going to change it from just being people on YouTube to just people within the industry, and not just reptile industry. We're going to start expanding out to other animal industries as well. And just, get to talk to people and learn more about people and bring us all together. We all love animals. Why not all of us be together? So that's the goal for season 3. So right now, if you know anyone that is a dog breeder, cat breeder, bird breeder, fish breeder, or any other animal that would like to possibly be on a live podcast, do a little interview, ask some questions, and we get to know them a little better and they get to know us a little better, please hit me in my DMs. Let me know their name so I can reach out and try to get them scheduled for next year. But guys, all that said, the podcast, we're here to find out about a guest, talk to them, and get to know them a little better. It's a great way for me to network within the community. Also a great way for me to meet new friends because I am an introvert. So this definitely helps me get out of my shell and meet new people, and it's been amazing. And you guys are killing it in the chat already. I'm seeing all these names already in the chat. Wow, you guys are killing it. Gage, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Hold on, my computer slow. Gage, thanks for coming through. Fry, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Celtic Reptiles, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Eric's in the building. Eric, look at my face. Eric's in the building. Thanks for coming through. Hutch, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Angel, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Angel, you're probably gonna be the first one in July. So look for a message. I'll be sending you a message soon, Angel. Just be looking for it. What are you guys talking about? What's this? I've been trying to get on Gershon's show for like 3 years. That is not true. Stop telling people that. But where's my money? Tammy, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Derek, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for coming through. How you doing, bro? I miss you too. I wanted to reach out, but I thought you were just taking a hiatus from everything, so I was letting you take your time. I'm always here when you need to talk, no matter what, bro. But glad you're doing better. Glad you're doing good. Thanks for coming through. Gray's Reptiles, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Side note, happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to the veterans in the chat. Gray is one of those veterans. Thank you for your service. Greatly appreciate you guys putting your lives on the line to serve for our country. Greatly appreciate that. So make sure you say thank you to someone that is a veteran. Let them know we appreciate them very much so. Rob, what's up? Thanks for coming through. I think that's everybody. El Herbs, what's up? Thanks for coming through. So before we bring on our guest, after I said thanks to everybody, we're going to say thanks to our sponsor. So the sponsor for this episode, as you guys already know, is Herp Collectors right here. I was trying to figure out which way to point. I see you in the Mike's in the background telling you where to point. I was like, where to point? But let's go ahead and say thank you by showing off their sponsored video. This episode is sponsored by Herp Collectors. They're a family-run business specializing in investment quality morphs to help other breeders achieve their project dreams and beyond. They are working with a couple different morphs specifically. Their baseline is Clown, Desert Ghost, and Hypo. And they're dabbing a little bit in the Ultra Male and Pieds as well. So definitely check them out for ball python needs. They are slowly coming up in the industry, and they're going to be producing some amazing animals very soon. But that's not all. They also have a YouTube channel. Of course, you know we're all about YouTube over here. They do a live podcast on their YouTube channel every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called Clutch Conversations. It's a great podcast. I was actually on it, and Mike does an amazing job interviewing guests. He also brings guests from all over the industry and talks to them. It's a definite watch if you're free on Thursdays. And if you're not, you can still listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast apps. Their mission is also to share the excitement of working with these reptiles, as well as bringing people together to promote and preserve our hobby. So what are you waiting for? Go follow and subscribe to their YouTube, their Instagram, their Facebook, and their TikTok. Thanks for sponsoring this episode, Herb Collectors. Yes, thanks again, Mike, for sponsoring this episode. Definitely go check them out on all their social media platforms, and definitely go check out the audio version of their podcast if you can't watch the YouTube version. And they might be having some stuff on Morph Market very soon, so definitely look out for that. But without further ado, guys, let's bring on our guest.
Buddy, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, Sean. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good. We've been working on getting this happen for maybe a month or two now, so I'm so happy it's happening. So excited to talk to you. Like, we've talked offline just casually for a couple hours at times, but I really wanted to bring you on and talk to you because just the stuff we've talked about, the insights, the way you do stuff, super cool, and I want other people to see that, but I also want other people to get to know about you. I know. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. If you could, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people and let them know what you keep and breed.
Okay, so my name is Mike. I'm from the UK. I'm a bull python breeder. I have in the past bred corn snakes, crested geckos, leopard geckos, bearded dragons. I've kept some other species, including stick insects, centipedes, and frogs over the years, because as the collection was changing and growing, my son was changing and growing. My son would have a new little idea. Dad, can we keep this? Dad, can I get one of these? And, you know, it would be a little bit like that, Gershon. We ended up with centipedes and scorpions and stick insects that were this big. It was crazy. Wow. Yeah. Like, Dad, I want to buy one of these. Okay, son. You know. Some of it we only ended up.
We do to make sure our kids are happy. So I understand that. I totally understand that.
Children first, right, bro? The children
Very
come
true.
first.
Very true. So now you've settled down with ball pythons. You're breeding exclusively ball pythons.
Exclusively.
Okay.
Even my corns, I've still got my original female corn, which basically is the start of all of this, because this was this first little snake that when my son was 12, he said to me, Dad, Granddad gave me some money for Christmas, and I used to keep tropical fish. Basically, I started with tropical fish, and the tropical fish shop was next to a reptile shop, and we used to feed. We used to keep freshwater fish, not actually tropical, like river fish.
Okay.
But I had a big, like 600 liter tank with all different stuff going on in it. And we used to go in the reptile shop and buy the mealworm to feed to the fish. And my son would be like, oh, Dad, can I pick up this snake? Can I pick up this snake? And then eventually, like I said, he told me Granddad gave him some money for Christmas. And while I was in the fish shop last week, he went and spoke to the guy in the reptile shop, and he sold him a little baby corn snake and all the enclosure and everything. And it ended up in my flat. And the rest of it after that, bro, is history.
Oh, wow. Hey, sometimes it's the unlikeliest way of getting into something that becomes a passion.
Well, you know yourself that whenever I mean, I've seen you do it, and I've seen it on so many other podcasts that somebody will be interviewing somebody from the States, and they'll always say, "Oh yeah, from a kid, I was going out, I was herping, I was
Mm-hmm.
buying this home, I kept this and this and that," and I'm the person that would tell you, you know, I was like 43 years old, I'd never touched a reptile in my life, yeah. 10 years ago, I'd never touched a reptile. But
Oh
now
wow.
I've researched everything so tightly that you've seen that I keep bookwork and stuff, that I'm quite
Mm-hmm.
specific about how I work, because this is just how I'm going to keep myself learning all the time, is that, you know, and stuff like that. But we'll get into that later, because I know I'm jumping ahead of the game now, yeah?
You're getting excited. I mean, I understand. We have good conversations, so it's hard to kind of keep them in a certain topic instead of just expanding out to stuff.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah.
totally understand. I totally understand. Appreciate that, Eric. Definitely keep it playing. Tell them to smash that like button.
Hey, can I just shout out a couple of people as well, if you don't mind,
Oh
Gershon?
yeah, go right ahead.
I'd like to say shout out to Eric and to Hutch and Chris and a few of the other people in there who are part of, if you like, my inner circle, the people that are there and help and support, and the people that we spend time with and we conversate. Because again, sorry, I'm jumping again, but this is how we learn, by talking, right? This is
True.
how we learn. Yeah.
True. Definitely. Definitely. Hutch, don't be trying to jump the line. You gotta give me my money. But April, thanks for coming through. Mainstream Morphs in the building. Thank you guys. How's that inchy clown 100% het albino male? How's he doing? I know you guys got him for me a while ago. He's a good eater. I liked him, and I wanted to hold on to him, but I already had too much to hold on to. That's one of the things we have to figure out how to do. Let go of stuff. Gotta let go of stuff. Thomas, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Jeremy and Holly, thanks for coming through. Cole, thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Guys got sticks. Jesus. So like Cole said, hit that like button. If you could hit the like button, apparently YouTube likes it when you guys hit the like button, and I like that YouTube likes it. So if you could go ahead and hit that like button if you like what you're listening and seeing on this channel and in this live. Appreciate it, guys. Side note, we are really close to 1,500 subscribers on the channel. I am doing a giveaway on my YouTube at 2,000 subscribers. So if you haven't followed the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you have, go take all your friends' phones and hit the subscribe button on their phones. So get us to that 2,000. We're super close. We're almost at 1,500. The giveaway, actually, Derek from Big D's Reptiles, get Big D's Pythons. I don't know why I said reptiles. Gave me the idea for the giveaway would be a breeding pair of double het albino clown pair. So a male and a proven breeder female. So that's a 2,000 subscriber giveaway when we get there. So guys, if you are
better get on that, yeah.
Exactly.
Breeder weight as well, yeah. You're giving them a breeder weight.
Yeah.
Ready to go, basically.
Ready to go. So you can make albino clowns next year.
Off the bat.
Right away. So definitely look into that. I sent you my address. Really? Does my channel say one? Oh, maybe I'm already at 1,500 subscribers. So that means we're only 500 subscribers away, guys. So do what you can.
It says 1.5. Yeah,
I don't even look. Oh, it does. So I'm at 1,500. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. I didn't even realize it.
Keep pushing.
Keep going, though. Appreciate it, guys. So you guys didn't come here to hear us jabber about subscribers. You came in here to learn more about Mike and his breeding. But before we do that, make sure you guys hit his follow button on his Instagram. He's on YouTube, but he's not really on YouTube. He's got one video. He's there for one video. but definitely go follow his Instagram. That's where you'll see all
But
his stuff.
that's not fair, Gershon, because I am on YouTube. I'm just not on my channel. I'm just not
This is
on
true.
my
This is
channel.
true.
So
But
you can see me every week on the internet, bro. I'm out there
this is
every
true.
week, one way or another. That if I'm not on Fred and AJ, shout to Fred and AJ at F&A. If I'm
Yep.
not on there, I'm on with Derek. You know, obviously
Yep.
he's taken a
Thirsty.
step back for a couple of weeks, but I'm
He
normally on with
is.
Derek. That
Mhm.
I've been on. You might see me on Flexing Show. You can see me when Lecker goes live. Sometimes I'm
Yep.
there. You know, I'm occasionally on Hair Down Friday. So you know,
Yep.
I'm there. Yeah,
He's
don't you be
he's
telling me I've
he's
only got one video and I'm not out there, bro.
well, he's all over live streams on YouTube. He doesn't have many videos on YouTube. He has that one. You go look at it, but then look for his live streams when he's on live streams with other people. Definitely go check that out. You should start posting it on like Instagram when you're going on a live stream. But hey, I'm
Well,
about to go on this live stream. Check me out here.
I should actually speak to Fred and AJ about them making me like a little tag because I've become. Derek sent me a whole list of different pictures and setups so that I can post as I want. But
Okay.
I should speak to Fred and AJ because it has become like a regular thing that I'm there on a Sunday with them. You know, because we partake in a similar interest. Let's say, you know.
Definitely. I can understand that. I'm actually going to be on Fred and AJ's show this Sunday.
So you're going to
This
be
Sunday.
interviewed. So you're
Yeah.
going to be interviewed, and then
I'm
basically,
interviewed.
if you hang around after you've been interviewed, then I'm
Yep.
one of the people that kind of joins the panel after the
Okay.
interview, after the first hour where it's your show specifically designed for you. They open it up to their friends to join the panel. The idea is that I get to ask you questions directly. But I can
is
do that tonight.
okay?
Yeah.
Like
That's
that.
the idea. The idea is that you open it up so that a few other of your friends can come on and then they can ask questions. Maybe it will be a different perspective. Maybe it's something that you can ask, or they may have heard an answer to a question in the first hour and want to elaborate on it or something like that, you know?
Okay. I've watched the show and I've actually jumped on the panel, but when I jumped on the panel, the guest had to leave, so I didn't get to do that aspect of the show.
Oh, I think that was that the gentleman that actually left to go to their home so that he could ultrasound their snakes. So it was a bit of a funny one, wasn't it? Because he was there on the live, and then he was there in their house.
Okay. So yeah, I was on the panel for a little bit, and then my wife made me go eat dinner. But I just dropped F&A Ball's YouTube channel in the chat. So if you're not subscribed to him, click the link, go subscribe to him. Definitely go subscribe to their channel so you guys can come hang out with us on Sunday. It is at, I'm gonna say 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, my time. So you guys have to Google that to see where it is your time. That's what you guys got to do. So without further ado, let's ask Mike some questions. So technically, we kind of covered this one a little bit, but when did you start your channel?
So actually, it was because of a live stream that I started this channel. Do you remember a thing called Reptiles Unplugged?
Yeah.
Okay, and before they called it Reptiles Unplugged, they were still running this stream, but they would do it 1 week on Joel's channel, State 48, and 1 week on Adam's channel. I forget what Adam's called.
Adam is Beach Bum Exotics.
That's
Beach
it.
Bum Exotics, yeah.
So before they created the Reptiles Unplugged channel, they was already doing that podcast, but they were doing it alternatively between one channel and the others, and they would do it that every week they would talk to each other, and every other week they would have a guest on. And I wanted to be able to talk in the chat, and this was back in about 2018. So I set this channel up just so that I could have a tag and be in the chat and be able to interact with people.
Yeah.
You know? So that was when I set it up.
That's sometimes that's how it goes. That's how a lot of people honestly have their YouTube, because they set it up so they can talk in the live chats. A lot of people have done that, and then slowly it rolled into them like, well, I might as well make videos since I have this set up now. So and then they start making videos. That's kind of how it happens.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that if you have a Google account, you have a YouTube. You have a
That
YouTube.
too. A lot of people don't realize that. And it took people a minute to realize that. It was like, oh, you already have that. You got to go to it. It's already set up. 100%.
The thing is that
Bless you.
that would, thank you. That would just be your email address. Then you should go in and change it to an actual tag, and then you can add
Yep.
your logo and all that sort of good stuff. So that instead of just being Michael, I will be like 21st Century Reptiles. They can see my tag there. Actually, I have a rebrand that happened in 2019. I was something else before I was 21st Century Reptiles.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just didn't like it. I thought it was a bit corny, a bit cheesy, and so I changed my tag to 21st Century Reptiles. It was available on Instagram, and so I changed it immediately in about 2019. I was Pythons R Us before that.
Okay.
It's a bit cheesy.
It's it's a play on Toys R Us.
Right, which is now a company that has gone bust.
Exactly. Oh, Jeffrey. You had a good run, Jeffrey. You had a good run. So let's hit another question. So since 2018 you had your YouTube channel. So that's a decent amount of time.
Yeah, and not actually put anything on there. It's very annoying.
Hey, you still got that one video, which is still probably getting views here and there because people see you on the live stream and then
they want to see. Yeah.
Exactly. It never fails.
But all my Instagram reels are on YouTube Shorts as well. Yeah, they're not attached to my channel, but I always share to YouTube as well. So people might see my stuff pop up if they're watching just reels of YouTube Shorts and stuff.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely still see it that way too. Yeah, I've been doing shorts a lot lately and reels. I've been going crazy.
Reels is the way forward. That's how you get. I had one reel, and I don't know how this works. And if anybody understands how this works, I can post a reel with the same song and the same hashtag, and it'll get like few hundred, maybe even 1,000, 2,000 views. And then I posted one video about 10 days ago, 12 days ago. It got 104,000 views.
Wow.
And over 5,500 likes. I was like, wow, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Why did Instagram push that one to the front? I don't.
Yeah. It still mind boggles me what necessarily people want to see on there. So you're throwing darts and seeing what works.
Right. It's just throwing them up, changing the song, changing the way that you do it,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But we got off topic again. Let's get back to this is gonna happen quite a bit, guys. So enjoy the ride. Sorry. This is how we talk sometimes. We just go off into stuff. But we're gonna try to bring it back. So, what is your favorite codom and your favorite recessive for ball pythons right now? So I say right now because that always changes. It always changes.
Well, listen. The recessive has got to be for me clown. Okay. And there's numerous reasons for that. The reason it wouldn't be other things are because of maybe color or white, too much white and stuff like that. I prefer clowns out of all the recessive genes, and I have a big love for ultra male, and I'm a hypo guy, not a desert ghost guy.
Okay. I understand picking those two, hypo or desert ghost.
Well, okay. So I know again I'm going to jump ahead, but I'm going to do it anyway, Gershon. You're going to have to deal with it. That's something to do with strategy and not wanting to get a collection that is too big. So for me,
Gotcha.
I didn't say I'm gonna do hypo and desert ghost. I wanted to physically make a choice because I want to keep my numbers in an area I want them in.
Yeah.
But I want to be as strong as possible within the projects that I'm doing. So if I have a couple less recessives, I can be a bit stronger within those recessives rather than having more recessives and having to have less animals or a bigger collection. You can say
Understand?
hello. They can
No,
join us. Tell them to come in and say hello if they want, Gershon.
my daughter was just wondering where I was.
Okay, is she
She's like,
still there? Tell her to pop in if she was.
she was like, Dad, I'm about to go watch this. And she just wanted to make sure I knew that she was watching. You gotta love the kids. You gotta love the kids. So they know.
They don't care. You probably told her, babe, I'm going downstairs. I'm going live, innit? Yeah, and still they come down, Daddy.
Dad, I need you to do this. Okay, give me 2 seconds, bud. Give me 2 seconds. I got you. Give me a few seconds. But that's the joy of being a father. That's the joy of being a father. 100%.
Yeah, so that's why I say I'm a hypo man and not a desert ghost man, because I
Okay.
just want to keep things a little bit more simple so I can
Mhm.
be a bit stronger, basically. So clown would be the recessive, and code dom is really hard to say, isn't it? What is your favorite code dom? You know, I'd have to just say a dark gene for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
it has to be for me a dark gene, something like a cinnamon, a blackhead, a leopard, something like that. Something that, it's like leopard. I love leopard out of clown. Actually, I'm not a great fan of leopard in clown because I find that it's too dominant. And because it creates that speckling right along the animal, it doesn't allow other genes to join in and create
Mm.
layers of effect. I'll throw a little curveball out of there for you, Gershon. Just like that, I'm going to throw this out there. We all know that Justin, aka Canova, is the man, right? We all
Mhm.
know that he is the guy that is setting the standard in our industry and coming out with all the latest combos. Whether you want to follow him straight up the road or indirectly up the road, we're all technically following him up the road, whether we like it or not. Okay,
Mhm.
notice that since he dropped the Batman, all the clown combos he's dropped over the last 5 years, where's the leopard?
Yeah.
It's nowhere. It's not in anything since the Batman. The red stripe, the red head, the cinnamon, the yellow belly, the spot nose, they reappear in different combos, right? But not the leopard.
Very
And
true.
that's not because he doesn't like leopard. That's because, in my opinion, he's just aware that leopard is very overpowering as a visual form, and so
Mhm.
doesn't allow you to create certain stacks which will create a certain look, a certain blush, a certain style of pattern, a teardrop
Mhm.
rather than a stretched, and things like that.
Oh
Again,
wow.
if you notice things that Justin works with, Justin tends to stick with genes that make a very pinched pattern rather than an Enchi or an orange dream or a blade that will give you that very stretched pattern. It's just perception, bro. You know that people watching these videos all the time, but they're not really watching them. They're just watching them.
True, because I didn't even pick that up. That is, yeah. Yeah, now that you say that, yeah. You haven't
You know,
seen a lot more
I'm an
leopard and stuff. Yeah.
I'm an old smart bum, innit? I'm an old smart bum. I just like to sit there and
Analyze. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Hmm. I'm gonna start
I,
paying a little more attention, a little different way now. Um, I like that. Wow, you got me thinking now. Like I'm literally running different morphs he's brought out, different combos he's shown, and I'm just going through like, yep, no leopard there, no leopard there, no leopard there. Oh wow. Oh wow. Interesting.
show
Interesting.
me it.
Okay.
Since the Batman, if anybody knows of any of Justin's like top combos since the Batman that have leopard in, please hit it up in the chat. I'd love to know. Oh, somebody else is absolutely true.
Yeah,
Honestly, I can't. I've tried to find one, and it doesn't. It's not the ones that are reoccurring are yellow belly and spot nose.
very true.
Everything changes around them, but yellow belly and spot nose, they're always there. They're always there.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow belly and spot. Yellow belly, everything.
Even though we're inchy everything over here, but I might have to pull the inchy out a little bit here or there. But now that I'm thinking that, like, I'm still gonna mess with it and other stuff. But you gotta expand your canvas sometimes.
Well, which is another reason when you say canvas, I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna get a little bit of like for this, but this is another reason why I'm not a fan of pied, because imagine that you said to Van Gogh, like, there's that canvas, but do me a favor, just paint on that corner there and leave the rest of it white. Van Gogh would have told you, are you crazy, bro? I'm out, innit? I'm out. I'm either painting on that or I'm not painting. Yeah,
I can understand that.
See,
when
you
I want
to
inchy in there to get that
right.
pattern.
So for me, that's something I want to make. For instance, I want to make an Enchi leopard ultra male pied. That for me, I think will look absolutely stunning. Enchi and leopard, because the leopard will brush the pattern, the Enchi will stretch the pattern. Yeah, and then basically that's right. Did you not know, Gershon, that I'm his UK agent?
I did not know that. This is new information to me.
Yeah, I'm the UK agent of Reptile Hutch. I'm in charge of, when he gets that set up, I'm going to be in charge of sorting out all the export of animals from the UK and sending them to the US.
I like it.
Yeah. So Enchi and leopard, and then ultramale to just make that color look, and then hypo if you like as well, because actually,
yeah. Okay. So this question, I already know the answer. I want you to let the people know the answer, but I also want you to go into the a conversation we had about how you feed as well, if you're okay with that. Because I think it's very fascinating, and I know, what's his name? I just blinked on his name. He's Shane. Shane Bradley kind of did something similar to the way you're talking about how you feed, just with a different prey item. But as the question says, do you breed or buy your snake food?
So I buy my snake food.
Okay.
I think that any of these guys that breed their food. Actually, I was having this conversation with Gage at Clown Scientist just yesterday. Shout to Gage. He's a very good friend of mine. He's a very good man. Everybody should watch what Gage is up to. He's going to drop some stuff fairly soon. He's going to start showing a little bit of quality coming through.
Nice.
That all you guys that do all of that stuff is amazing, because actually you have to spend more time taking care of your rodents than you have to taking care of your collection. You know, I said to Gage, how many bins do you have? And he counted and he said, well, there's 28 bins. I said, and they get a full clean out every week? And he said, yeah. I said, well, do you clean out 28 snakes a week, full clean? Oh, no, not a week, not an average. No. Okay, so you're spending more time cleaning rodents than you are cleaning snakes. So that's why I shout to all you guys that do that grind. And I know that actually it's a little bit of a different question, isn't it? Because I'm aware that the price of rodents in the US is much more expensive than it is in the UK. To buy frozen Ford, to have frozen Ford delivered to your door in the US, Hutch showed me an invoice, and we went through this invoice that Hutch had, and I was horrified that basically for the same money that he spent, if we just converted it from dollars to pounds, because there's not really a massive gap between the currencies anymore. It's not like the old days. When I came to the US on honeymoon in 1993, I think it was over $2 to a pound. You know, it was like we were living the luxury then. You know, I was telling my ex-wife, yeah, just buy it, just to take that in half and take a bit off again, and then just buy it, babe. It's nothing. It's for free, basically. So we converted it with Hutch, and here's the truth: I could have bought 4 times the amount of rodents
Oh
with
wow.
money than Hutch did. 4 times.
Oh wow. Yeah, I
So
know
I'm aware.
I'm gonna have to probably I don't want to breed rats, but financially it's smarter for me to do that.
It makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I might be
Unless, of
doing that
course,
soon.
you're in an area. I hear stories like this from other people in the hobby, because you know, Gershon, actually, that slightly sidetracking again, that you know that I'm much more well known in the US than I am in the UK.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
you know that there's probably 5 people in the UK that know me and know my name and talk to me, and I could probably talk to 30 guys in the US like that, you know. So so
Understandable. Mac,
so
what's up? Thanks for coming through.
so I get it why you lot wanna, if you, so what I was getting back to is that if you manage to hook yourself to somebody who is a rat producer, I hear guys saying, yeah, I've got this guy, I go down there, they're £1.20, $1.20 per rat, and I can just take 50, 100, however many I want. I can go there every week. And if you find somebody like that, then it is better to get them in. But if you can't find somebody who's going to sell you them for $1 each, then
Yeah.
the cheapest way is going to be to make your own, right?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Which one? This one? I'll let you know. If it's this one, I'll let you know. I'll message me on Instagram. I'm gonna forget. My memory is terrible at times. Message me on Instagram. I'll give you the specs and stuff, and what tubs I use and how I level out and stuff like that. Yeah,
You build your
it's
own racks as well, Gershon?
yeah. I made this one. It's
Because you know that I built everything in my room. You
yeah,
know
I know
that,
you
don't you?
built everything and you use melamine, right?
Yeah, all the enclosures and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's another subject. That's a humidity thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, let's get back to the rats. Let's get
Let's
back to the
get back to
rodents.
rats.
Get to the
So,
rodents.
so
We're gonna be here at 3 o'clock in the morning still, bro. It's just like ridiculous.
so
Like
you breed, so you buy your rodents. So
I
talk
buy
about the
my
way you feed your snakes and the
okay.
process. So let's start with like a hatchling. How do you start off a hatchling eating?
So basically, this is this thing that firstly I'm gonna just say it a different way around, because we all hear this stigma that people say, I don't want to start my animal on mice because I'm worried that my animal is going to get stuck on mice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that may well be true if you're feeding that animal mice for the first 6 to 9 months of its life. I wouldn't know because I don't feed mice that long, but I do start with mice rather than rats or ASFs. ASFs, by the way, are 50% more expensive than rats in the UK. So the £1 rat will be £1.50 for an ASF, and actually it will be 30 grams lighter as well. Yeah, it'll be 30
Okay.
grams.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so I start my animals on mice rather than rats. The logic behind that is that if you're feeding a rat pup or an ASF pup, you're feeding an animal that is drinking milk from its mother and is in a tub with its mother. That means that that animal is a baby, doesn't have much muscle, much fur, and is drinking only milk. If you feed a comparable size mouse in weight, but a mouse, that would technically be a sub-adult animal which is running around eating food and basically has more muscle and more protein than that little ball of fat that is just drinking milk. The reason
Okay.
that I went up that road was my logic was in the wild, where is that baby ball python going to find that rat pup? Where's it gonna, because it would technically have to go down a rat burrow to find that rat pup. The mum would be there. Now we're talking about 120-gram rat versus a 70-gram hatchling. The hatchling is going to lose every time.
Yeah.
So it's not eating rat pups. It can't be. So it's got to be eating something that at that weight, whatever it is, it's got to be eating something that at that weight is out foraging for food itself.
Yeah.
It's just work. I only work that off logic. So I start my animals on mice. I find that they will start to put on weight much quicker, much easier because of the level of protein and nutrients that are in the food that they're eating. And literally by week, the thing is as well with mice is that in the UK, because it is a predominantly frozen forward market, that the mice are available in many sizes. So I can start a ball python on a 15-gram mouse. I can give it that 15-gram mouse for 3 weeks. And then the following 3 weeks, I can give it a 22-gram mouse. And then I can give it a 26-gram mouse. And after it's had a 26-gram mouse for 3 weeks, then the following week, it can have a 35-gram small weaned rat. So now, by week 10, I've got my animal on small weaned rats, and that animal is just putting on weight because it's getting I believe that the way an animal will start will determine how it will grow. You know, if you don't put your seed in the ground properly in the beginning, you're not going to get a very strong plant.
True.
And anybody here or anybody that watched this after, if you want to hit me up privately on Instagram, yeah, I've got books and books and books because I keep track of all my feeding records for each individual animal, and basically I can show you how these animals eat and how they grow. And for me, Gershon, just to drop a few jaws already, it's not. For me, it's quite normal to have a female ready the following year after she's born. So my 2021 females, I held back 15 and bought one in. In 2021, I held back 15 females and I bought one in. 15 out of those 16 are breeding now.
Wow.
Some of them are over 2 kg, bro. And I don't feed big rodents. I only feed large weans, small rats, which are 100 gram in the UK. And I only defrost 20 of them on a Sunday. And I've got 45 adult females. And I only defrost 20 of those small rats because you won't get one every week. You'll get a small rat, a large wean, a small rat or a large wean. You might get a small wean over the top, a little 35-gram sweetie. And that is to do with that 35-gram sweetie is designed for a breeder female that's building towards a fast. And you can actually use that little rodent to watch the female, how her growth is. Because when a girl is building and you're giving her a 100-gram rodent and a 35-gram, 40-gram rodent over the top, every Sunday, she'll get the 100-gram rodent after she's being paired and she's right in the eye of the storm. She'll get a little sweetie on top. Now, what you can see then is that as she gets closer to the point, she'll stop wanting that second rodent, that 35, 40-gram sweetie. So at the point where she stops wanting that 40-gram sweetie, I'm going to start reducing the big rodent that I give her from 100 to 75. And then I'm going to reduce it down. And if I reduce the size of the rodent as she reaches the point, I can keep her on food longer. She'll have a healthier clutch and she'll bounce back better.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Here's the truth, Gershon. Me and you got hours still to cover. I know we've spent hours talking, but if you think you've heard only the tip, bro, there's a lot more. There's a lot more, bro.
I mean, that is really good. Really good. So we're gonna go to the next question. We're gonna leave people. We're gonna sit people with that. If you want to contact Mike and learn more about that, definitely do that. 100%. This is just a tip. This is just a little bit of taste of what he's doing and the possibilities that you could do the same and probably replicate what he's doing with his animals. I won't guarantee it because we don't have, unless you have the access to the rodents as he does at the
Well,
same nowhere near the
but the thing
price.
is, if you're breeding
If you're
rodents,
like, yeah,
then
if you're breeding your own,
you can always cull them at the right or feed
yep,
them at the right size. It's all about feeding them at the right size. It's not about, you know, people that are breeding actually, that this is just as easy for them. They just need to
yep.
get. Oh, sorry, Eric. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm sorry. Because here's the truth, Eric's seen this paperwork. Eric's
Okay.
seen this. When I showed Eric this paperwork, I asked him, your phone frozen, Eric, because he was baffled by it. When I put, when I put, when I showed him, because when a clutch is born, that every animal gets a code. If it stays here, it gets a code. That code will be, I can check who the Dane is, who the sire is, and all of that right through their history here. And then I showed Eric, can you see when that one was born? Yep. Can you see the code it's been
Yeah.
given? Yeah. Can you see the book? Yeah. Can you see the feeding? Yeah. Let's go and weigh her. And I'll put this animal on the scales, and Eric will be like, I'll be like, Eric, are you okay? He's like, how, Mike? How? And
Death.
I believe it's how you put the seed in the ground, because I'm not feeding every 3 days. I'm not feeding 150-gram rodents. Actually, I believe I believe that I believe that feeding large rodents every 2 weeks is worse, not better.
Okay.
And my theory behind that is, again, go back to nature, Gershon. Go back to nature. Firstly, does the lion get the fully grown wildebeest that's right at its prime when it's hunting? No, it
Mm.
doesn't. It gets the little baby straggler, the one with the broken leg. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Mm-hmm.
first thing to tell you. And secondly, where do you think that these rodents are gonna grow that big in the wild? We know that it's genetic. That thing, when we grow things at home, we grow them better than in the wild. Not we grow them better, but we have the ability to monitor their food and make them grow at a better rate. And
Exactly.
so we saw from Kaufman's video that ball pythons that are much smaller are sitting on eggs in the wild. Now, they're not sitting on eggs in the wild smaller because they want to. It's just in the wild, there's a lack of food, and that's where they get to. So they have to
Yeah.
make the best of it. So
Yep.
where do you think you're going to find the 860, 180-gram rodent in the wild? How many are going to get to that weight and not be killed before they
True.
got to that weight? And
Very
so
true.
I actually believe that in the wild, snakes are eating smaller meals and more often.
Mm.
Yeah. And all this stuff about a snake needing nearly 2 weeks to digest their food, this is not true. You give it a small meal, it will digest it in 5 days. If you gave it a big unit rat like that, well, of
Yeah.
course it's going to take it 2 weeks. It's going to take it 10 days to start chopping it.
Mm. Yeah, that is a different way to think about it. The smaller meals don't take them as long to digest, but it also gives them do you believe it gives them more time to pull all the nutrients from that meal and not waste a lot of it? Because that's what I when I switch from every week to every other week, I seen less poops and less waste from that animal, being that it didn't have to hurry up and eject what it couldn't absorb yet because they knew it was going to eat again soon. So it took time to do. It didn't have to rush,
Is,
I would
is
say.
it is it hurrying up? Is it not rushing, or is it that meal is so big that it requires that time? Because
Okay.
it's not, that it requires that time because it can't cope with processing it any quicker. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I never thought about it that way either. I had to do
Listen,
some
these aren't
research.
answers. These aren't answers, bro. These are just
Just
opinions. That this disclaimer, guys. That this is two guys just sitting there having a little to and fro. Yeah. At the end of
exactly.
the day, that actually nobody has this answer. Maybe the odd scientist, but any ball python breeder that tells it agrees with you, agrees with me, has a different opinion. That's just an opinion because we're not
Exactly.
scientists. We only, I can maybe say to people, no, 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 no. I can show you 5, 6 years worth of paperwork. I can show you projections and graphs, and I can show you how animals behave. Gershon, I could tell you, for instance, I've got a female. Okay, she's laid me different size clutches over the last 5 years, but she's been here 5 years, and she stops eating around the same time, and the
Mm-hmm.
gestation period will be stretched or shortened depending on whether she's packing 12 eggs this year or 8 eggs this year.
Okay.
Yeah, because she'll lay between 8 and 12 periodically every year. But
Mm.
that date will change slightly. But the time that she stops eating is very similar within 10-day period every year for 5 years. So I
Mm.
don't. So I can look at her and I know that somewhere between the last week in December and the first week in January, that snake is going to stop eating. So right now, I'm right in the eye of the storm. This is right in the eye of the storm.
Okay.
But it's that sort of attention to detail that will pay off.
Yeah. Yeah. Never hurts to get to know your animals. Take time, study your animals.
Bingo.
Clearly, I got to start studying other people's videos too, because I'm missing stuff that you're picking up on. So I need to pick up on this stuff as well. Um, but before we go to the next question, it is time for tip of the week, guys. If you don't know what tip of the week is, that's when I put a post on my Facebook or my Instagram. I'm gonna probably start putting it on my YouTube too. I don't know, but put it everywhere. You'll find it. Whoever puts down a tip, whether it's reptile related, YouTube related, or life related, whichever one gets the most likes will get featured on the next podcast and you'll get a little shout out. So without further ado, guys, let's check out this week's tip of the week. This week's tip comes from Keeper's Cane. Make sure to open your tubs and enclosures often enough that your snakes or reptiles don't associate you getting in their tub with food. Yes, make sure you food train your reptiles or snakes and make sure they know that every time you come in the tub, it's not necessarily time to eat. Very important. That's how accidents happens, guys. But thanks for that tip from Keeper's Cane. Go check them out on Instagram and YouTube. All right, that's been this week's tip of the week.
We back? No, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Yep, my computer acts up sometimes, so that happens. We're back. So that's a great tip. 100%. Make sure your animals know the difference. Definitely take the time to make sure you know the difference. Some people hook train their animals to make sure they know when the hook comes in, it's not food, it's time to be handled, or it's time to clean. This is not a food response. So make sure you do that with your animals and take that time. That's also another reason to take the time to get to know your animals. 100%. So thanks for that tip. Go check out Keeper's Cane on their Instagram and YouTube. They have YouTube. They're gonna be on Next Up too. So look forward to that down the road. But thanks for that tip. Very much appreciated. We got a lot of people in the chat. They said some stuff. Oh, chat. Luke, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate
Hey,
you.
Luke, what's happening, my brother?
I seen something. 100%. Eric. What do you say, Eric? Yeah, man. I had a huge bag. Okay. So they're talking about their how much they spend on breeding their rodents themselves, which cost wise, yes, it definitely helps if you have the space. And You have the space and the time to clean rodents. You definitely have the time to take care of those rodents to breed them properly. Mike, you're having a message me. Where can I send you a copy of the email I received? Oh, I said he's got an email for you. Eden's Den, what's up? Thanks for coming
Hey,
through.
what's up?
It's okay.
What's up?
It's okay if you're at work. Just let it play. We got it. No
He's always
problem.
at work. You know, Gio is a very hard-working guy. He's just starting out, but he's got a wife and
Okay.
kids. And he's got a heavy job, and you know,
Hey, we know we trust me, we all know it. We all had life happen and life going on while we're trying to chase this passion and dream we have. So nobody's upset with you. Nobody's worried about it. When you can come in, come in. Definitely. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Eric's
Uh,
always at work as well. Eric's just saying, "Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
he
at work
is.
too."
All right, let's hit another question. So, can you talk about a good breeding experience you've had and a bad one you've had? I add this question in. If you guys have noticed, we're mostly talking about breeding animals. All his questions are leaning towards there because he's not really big on YouTube, or at least on his own YouTube channel. But this is
Thank you.
also a great way to. I had to specify. I had to specify. But it's also a great way for me to get used to adapting around not doing just YouTube stuff because we're going to be bringing on people that are not on YouTube in season 3. So it's a kill two birds with one stone situation right here. See,
I'm the
it's all
trial
about
run.
growth.
I'm the
Yes.
trial.
Yes. So if you could, Mike, let us know. Let's go with the bad one first and get the bad one out the way.
No,
Then
no, no,
people.
no, no. Let's go with the good one. Let's get the good one out of the way
Okay.
because
Okay.
it's simple. It's very simple, Gershon. Every successful breeding where you get eggs in the incubator and babies hatch is a good experience.
Very true.
And
Very
end
true.
of story. End of story. End of
Very true.
story.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Bad experiences. This is something. We're getting a bit of a bigger echo all of a sudden. You do
Is
know
it?
that, Gershon.
Yeah, it's a little bit hummy. Guys, let me know how bad the echo is. Can you guys hear it? Or how's the audio sounding? Hit me. Let me
Anyway,
know in the chat. But we'll keep going. They'll let us know, and I'll try to fix
no
some
problem.
things if
Okay.
possible.
So when it comes to bad experience, I guess that there's those things that we can't avoid, which are like the odd animal that might come out kinked or something. These things happen, yeah. But I will be perfectly honest, Gershon, that this summer we had one of actually, I think technically the hottest day in history in the UK, and
Mm.
we had the hottest stint of weather than we ever had, and so I had a few extra issues with animals not absorbing yolks and stuff like that because I think that my incubator it was running high and I was struggling to keep the temperature down. And I think
Hmm.
that some of the animals were affected. We're going to deal with that because the kids asked me, "What do I want for Christmas?" And I told them I want a mobile air conditioning unit. Thank you. So, this issue will never happen again. All I can
Gotcha.
say is that there's some bad experiences that we can't do nothing about, and
Hmm.
then there's others that are technically, if you like, our mistake or some. It can be something outside of our control, but one of those things. All we can do is again watch, pay attention, and wherever we can change something and make something better, change it and make it better.
Yep. Yep. Totally agree there. Totally agree. Like some things out of your control. Had a couple animals with kinks. Couple animals not absorb their yolk. Have to not absorb the yolk and still be tied to their yolk. Had to. I
Right.
think it's
So
called lykate. Is that what it's called? When you.
so there's two ways that can happen. I'll just throw this out there quickly. That if an animal decides to crawl out of the egg and the egg is still the yolk is still attached to it, but you can see that your yolk is still going in because it's not stretched. That the umbilicus isn't stretched.
Mm-hmm.
The then you can give that animal a gentle wash. Take anything, any substrain, whatever you keep your animals on when you incubate them. Give that animal a wash. Set up some damp paper towel and lay that animal in a tub with the yolk still attached to it, and it will absorb that yolk while it's there. If it's
Mm-hmm.
been stretched so that no yolk is now going up, and that's it, that yolk isn't going in, you need to tie that off, and basically almost like a hospital would do when they release a baby from the womb, that you need to
Mm-hmm.
tie it off so that there's no blood loss from the umbilicus, yeah, and then remove that yolk, because that yolk isn't going. In fact, if anything, that can start to cause bacteria and stuff if you leave that yolk
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
outside.
I've had a couple snakes I didn't catch that before. I believe the bacteria killed them because they were still attached to the yolk and I didn't catch it. They were still in the egg, so I thought they were just absorbing. That's why it's always, that's why for me, that's one of the reasons why I cut, to keep an eye on the yolk to see if the yolk is being absorbed or if the umbilical is twisted up, knotted up, and I wouldn't loose it. But I didn't realize it wasn't absorbing that yolk, and that yolk wasn't getting smaller day by day, and it was still attached, and ultimately it killed that animal, and that's how I
Hap-
lost the animal.
Happened to me, Gershon. I had clown to pie double hets. Basically, I had
Oh,
seven. Last year, the year before, she slugged out. She gave me 6 slugs. I
mm,
I done the pairing again, and she gave me 7 eggs. And exactly like you say, I cut them open. I was looking in, and I thought, they're a little bit overdue. And but the
yeah.
yolk's still there. I'll just leave them. They'll be fine. In the end, I was getting to the stage where I was like, nah, something's not right. I basically had to take all of them out. I did catch them just in time.
Okay.
I had to operate on all. Actually, one was dead in the egg. I had to operate on all 6 of them. I only managed to get 2 to survive.
Mm,
I luckily ended up with a 1.1.
okay.
The male had absorbed more of his yolk and is now probably about 180 to 220 grams.
Okay.
Uh, the female was 21 grams out of the egg, bro.
Oh wow.
And so I was another tip for you guys: rather than assist feeding small rodents, get a 100-gram rat, cut its tail off from the bum, and just to get a little bit of skin, and give that tiny hatchling an inch of tail from the thick end. And because it's round, you can just twist it and drop it in there, and it's no stress for the animal. And you can do that every 3 days for a week, and or every 2 days for a week, and then normally they'll take their food the next week.
Oh
And that
wow.
works. That works for animals that are just won't eat as well. Just give them a little bit of tail every 2 days, and it will just get their stomach acid moving. And then come Sunday or whatever day you feed, they should just go bang.
Okay.
Now
I
that girl now that girl's up to 80 grams now. Now, Gershon, she's up to
80.
80 grams.
Okay. Okay. So she's
Yeah.
going in the right direction.
She's like a
Definitely going in the
hatchling
right
now. I
direction.
put her next to one of my hatchlings, and they're the same size.
Oh wow. Like I'm making a timestamp because that is a good tip, and that might be a clip I use on a reel or something because that's a really good tip. Because I never thought about doing that. Like if you had a small, I'm actually gonna try that because I have. So I haven't released this information yet. The albino clown female that I produced this year, she hasn't taken a meal. It has been almost a month since she's hatched out, shed.
Inch and a half. Inch if she's 40 grams or over, give her an inch and a half to two
Okay.
inch and a half. Make sure you get the thick end, and just cut it off at an angle so you get that little tiny little V of skin and fur off the back. Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously put it in its mouth, the skinny end first, so that little bit of fur is facing backwards as it goes in, you know?
Gotcha. Gotcha. Definitely gonna try that. Definitely gonna try that. Um Rock, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Kaiju, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you.
Hey, what's happening, Kaiju? What's up, my brother? Yeah, here he goes with the
Definitely.
beans again. You know what? Every time Kaiju comes across me, you have to tell me about the beans. Every Sunday on AJ's, every Thursday.
Kaiju's actually starting to breed. I seen a post on his Instagram. He's breeding rodents now too, I believe.
Yeah, he's got
Um,
ASS. He's got first, I think, 3 or 4 sets, clutches, whatever they call them. I don't
colonies
know
or
what.
thing. Yeah, I think they call them
No, he's got
colonies.
colonies. No, he's got colonies, but he's actually got babies now. He's actually got babies.
Oh,
He's got his first.
he's got
Yeah,
litters.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. He's got
Oh,
litters.
okay.
That's it, litters.
I think
He got his
I
first.
I'm thinking. I don't know. They might call them litters. I'm not sure. But congrats, Kaiju. Congrats. So let's hit another question. I'm super interested in this because I know you love clown. You just gave us a little peek that you're working on the double recessive, so that's in the works. But what is a gene you don't have in your collection as of right now that you plan or thinking about working with in the future?
So I just got Cypress in,
Okay.
literally 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
And I'll be working that into clown. I bought it. You know, again, Sean, I'm that guy that I buy. I come in at a low level. I'm not really I'm not no rich boy. And so I'm using a strategy to get to where I'm going to get to rather than
Gotcha.
dumping a load of money. You know, this is, again, another sort of thing about our hobby that if you come into the hobby and you dump $250,000, everybody knows who you are and everybody wants to listen to what you say. If you on a low in the background and you might have 6-7 years experience, but because nobody knows who you are because you don't have those powerful $10,000 animals, then people don't want to listen to what you have to say, or not a lot of people want to listen to what you have to say.
True.
Right? And actually, you might be the guy with the right knowledge. That guy just bought that animal, and he's breeding based on what the guy that he spent $250,000 with told him to do.
Yeah.
He's not working that out for himself. He's
Yeah,
walking around with a load of sheets of paper. Yeah,
he doesn't have that experience. He doesn't have that knowledge of actually going through
right,
that process as of yet.
right.
So, yeah, I can understand that. It's very easy to get caught up in flash and not actual substance. It happens in all walks of life, all ways of life, all different types of things. People get caught up in the flash of that and not the substance of that. And with YouTube and our instant gratification lifestyle we have now in the world, people want to know stuff right away, real quickly. They don't want to take that time.
Sorry, I've been waiting for him to pop up in the chat.
He's in the chat.
Bro, listen, I was hoping Bosa, I hope you're here, bro. You need to listen to this, because the one thing I promised myself about tonight is I wanted to talk about this man, because this man, all right, I don't know how he does it, but he has this way. I don't know how to tell you, Gershon. I can feel his warmth all the way here in the UK, bro. I don't even know how to tell you that he has this something that I can feel that warmth all the way in the UK.
Bosa is amazing. He's a great person in this hobby. Like, this hobby is better to have Bosa in it. That's how amazing he is. The time he puts in, shouting out people, hitting people's stuff in the chats, being in almost all live streams, the positivity he shows in it, it's amazing.
he does it in such an effortless. This is the
Yes.
sorry guys, this is the KK fanboy club here. He does it in such an effortless way. He does it in such an effortless way that others have tried that they cannot replicate.
Yeah. It's so natural for him. It's not
Don't get
him
me wrong,
trying.
Sean. You're up there as well, bro. Actually, I'd like to shout you out as well because you do a lot of good for the hobby. That you're there trying to pull people up, to take people up, to show people that how to get forward and get on and do stuff. And you deserve respect for that as well, bro. Because there's a lot of people out there that they would be able to do what you do, and they don't bother to do it. Yeah.
I appreciate that. It was, what is it, like maybe 2-3 years ago, I just decided to try to push as much positive energy out there and push it into the industry to see the positivity I want to see reflected from the industry. That's why I try to help as many people as I can. I've recently just been answering a lot of questions about how to start my YouTube. How do I do this? Should I do this? And just like, hey, if you have questions, ask me. I have no problem answering. I might take a little time to get back to you because I've been kind of busy lately, but I have no qualm of answering any questions, helping out any way I can.
When you're a family man, you've got to work, you've got to provide for your family, and family first.
True.
We love our animals, but family first.
Very true. Very true. I just wanted to show like the positiveness of the industry and not only show the vast number of people in the industry, but the different types of people. So that's like when I sometimes I literally find people on Instagram and I look and see if they have YouTube because I like what they're doing on Instagram. I like the positive stuff they're doing and the way they're doing stuff. And I'm like, I want to bring more attention to you. If you don't have a YouTube will be another platform to help you get more attention and people to see you, but also for other people to see themselves in their own hobby. Like that is like my kids see themselves in the shows they watch, in the movies they watch. They see themselves. And me growing up, I didn't have much of that as a kid in the cartoons I watch and the shows I watch. And it's just magical to see it in them. And it's just normal for them at this point. And that's one of the positive ways the world has changed to an extent, even though we still got a lot of work to do. But those are the positive things where kids can see themselves.
It will never be done.
It will never be done. It would never be done. But each day, each minute, each hour, it's inching a little better here and there, getting closer and closer to that unending goal.
All we have to do is to check ourselves, right, Gershon? That we always have to check ourselves and always try. But, you know, my pops, he wasn't a very hands-on. He wasn't the pops that I am. Yeah, that I call my kids. We call all the time. We tell her we love each other. We hug each other. This was this old-fashioned mentality that my dad was there. He provided and stuff, you know, but he wasn't that guy that would put his arm around me and tell me, "I love you, son. Give me a kiss." But one thing he taught me is he said to me, "Just treat people the way you want to be treated, son. If you just live by this one rule, you're not going to go far wrong. Just treat the people the way you want to be treated. Just be respectful and hope that they'll be respectful, and that's it, you know."
Very true. Very true. What's up, Lake God? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you.
Another one of the family there.
Definitely. Paul, what's up? Thanks for coming through. FTL, thanks for coming through. Appreciate you.
Hey, what's up, Levi?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's become very humbling seeing people. Like I had somebody literally message me. No, I actually messaged them, and I seen that they had their first clutch, and I said, "Congratulations. Hope everything works out with that clutch." got my fingers crossed for you. Somebody I just saw a post on Instagram, didn't really know them, and we started talking, and they let me know like, hey, I've been watching you for a while. I love what you're doing. I love how positive you are. I love that you're helping people get started on stuff. And I love that you reached out when you didn't even have to. Like you made my day just asking me about what I have going on, and I greatly appreciate that. And it just came from just knowing how hard it is when you're doing something and you're the small guy and you know no one's looking at me, no one sees me, just to get a little bit of inspiration from someone that you think might be bigger than you, or you think that is where you want to be. It means the world to people, and that's the little bit of hope that people need to keep going.
You should always try and, I'm lucky, Gershon, because I work with the public, okay? So I have the ability every day to spread a bit of love, to just do something for somebody. It's easy for me. Somebody will come in and I'll just tell them, no, just take that, bro. What? No, are you sure? Yeah, just have it, innit? Just spread some more love somewhere else today.
Yep.
Yeah, and as simple as that. I always try. I get a lot of kids coming, not kids as in like in their 20s, like those city boys that they come in and they might have intelligence, but sometimes they're a little bit lost on that day-to-day stuff. And I help one of them out with something, and he look at me and I say, bro, I've got a son your age, innit? So for me, when I help a young man like you, it's like I'm helping one of my sons.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my son's about to start basketball, and I'm trying not to be a coach because I want him to be coached by someone else and not his dad. Like I know he's gonna listen to me, but I want him to get used to listening to someone else as a coach and being taught by somebody else necessarily. Because the one thing about Kobe, he was great because he was able to be coached, and a lot of players aren't able to be coached. That is a skill in itself. So I want him to learn that skill of being able to be coached. And I know I can coach him because I'm his dad, but I need somebody else to be able to coach him.
And if you let that person coach him first, maybe it will broaden his horizons and let him know that he can get that information in a lot of places.
Yep. Like that's the thing, you never know where you can learn a lesson from. So always be open to experiences.
On Gershon's channel, right? You learn a lot on Gershon.
I appreciate that. Jerry, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Glad everything is okay out there for you guys. You guys had another, was it a hurricane, flood, a warning? I heard you got some storms.
It was supposed to be just a storm, but they upgraded it to a hurricane at the last minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was as bad as the one that they had last month, but
yeah, definitely. But we got sidetracked again talking about positive things, which is always a thing that happens on this channel. So no worries. But let's go ahead and hit the last question.
What? There's only this last question, guys.
This is the last question. I try to keep it short and sweet. That's what I try to do. It never works out. I usually go over an hour, but I know people.
We're well over an hour already.
We're well over. So, you're trying to get to the longest podcast, and I think Paul from New Forest Morphs has still got that record at 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think we did a 2 hour and 10 minutes.
I could keep you going for longer than that, but
I know you can. But it's always a good conversation, so it's hard not to keep going, though. It 100% is. But so let's get to this question. And guys, if you have any questions for Mike, put them in the chat. Definitely, 100%.
This is a simple one for me, bro, because I'm building the blocks for this right about now.
I mean, so let me ask you: is it the one you said already? The inchy leopard?
No. That's another. No.
Oh, that's another. Okay. Okay. So, what is your dream morph to make?
I want to make a leopard blackhead highway ultra male clown.
Oh. 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 Mike, that is good. I was not expecting that, Mike. Mike, that is good. I got to sit in that for a second. Oh, Mike. Oh, wow.
So we know the
Oh,
highway comes out light, right? And we know the
yes.
highway comes out light. We know that the blackhead and the leopard is going to add depth and contrast to that light animal, yeah?
Yeah.
And then Ultramel is going to mess that up, bro. Mess that up. The tones that are going to come in, the tones, the
Oh,
different
wow.
levels of orange, the different oranges, the way that that color is going to come down, bro. Trust me.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, Mike. I am speechless. I was not expecting that, and now that's all I can think about now. Ooh. Oh,
The
that's gonna be
steps are
neat.
in. Listen, something happened for me just 2 weeks ago that makes this much easier for me to make, and that is basically that I have an animal that I purchased as a yellow belly or gravel
Okay.
that she proved out that her clutch landed, and she proved out to be gravel because I produced a super gravel from the clutch.
Nice.
So, so next year now I'll be breeding yellow belly and gravel. This year I'm already doing cinnamon and leopard because I've got and I'll be adding the blackhead as well. We're doing the double head ultra male clown this year as well,
Oh.
so that we can
Oh.
get the double head, and
Yeah.
then we can just string it together and string it together and string it together.
So let's say you hit all odds on what you need to continue that project. About how many years you feel you're away from hitting that gold snake?
Well, you know how I work, Gershon, and I'm working fast. You know?
No, I know.
Let
Because
me just put it this.
the number I was
Let me
thinking
put
in
it.
my head, I'm probably half off.
Yeah, well,
Um,
let me just put it faster than anybody else, bro. Faster than anybody else. From where I stand now, with none of it mixed together, if anybody else is in the same spot as me now, I defy anybody to get it done quicker than me, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not a big head. I'm a humble guy, Gershon, but I
mm-hmm.
know where my power is, bro. I know where my power is. My
Oh,
hound.
Levi
Oh,
wants
yeah,
to know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's talking about my Cali bee. You know, she's got a face on her head.
Oh, that's cool.
Actually has a face on her head. She's got two eyes, a smile. Round her jawline, she has a big smile. And her eyes look like headphones. So she looks like she's wearing a pair of headphones as well.
That's cool. That is super cool.
I would say it'd take me about 6 years.
6 years? Okay. That's actually not bad. So wait, one more time. It was a 6 years? A leopard,
Leopard,
blackhead.
blackhead, gravel, yellow belly, ultra male clown. So a leopard, blackhead, gravel, yellow belly, ultra male clown.
So 6 years to make a double recessive
With four
four
codoms,
codoms. Oh
and one of
wow.
them's a lilac, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too.
So you
Ooh.
got to stack it on both sides to make it land at the one time, yeah? You got to
Yeah.
run one line and the other line, and then bring them together, bang.
Oh wow. That's even more
So
powerful than I thought. Hmm. Oh, that's nice, Mike.
and imagine the byproduct that we're gonna make while we're doing that, bro.
True.
The leopard ultramels that we produce in the middle of that, the blackhead ultramels, the yellow belly leopard ultramels that are going to come out of that project.
So just out of curiosity, are you gonna have yellow belly and gravel on?
Obviously, or either on opposite sides.
On
I'll
opposite
basically
sides.
I will build the yellow belly with one of the codominant genes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll build the gravel with the other codominant gene, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
put them together.
Okay. Oh, that's it's gonna be really interesting to see. Oh wow, Mike, that's gonna be interesting to see. Definitely, definitely. See, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that, but that is a great answer. That is a crazy great answer. Oh wow. Oh wow. Whoo. Yeah, that's because who just half of those are just amazing in themselves. Um, without
Well,
even adding the other half onto it, that's
right.
just crazy.
Because my logic would be a highway ultramel clown would look nice, but it would be a little bit lacking in depth of tone. Because it, you know, that although yellow belly is quote unquote a dark gene and it works in a certain way when it is in clown, when yellow belly is attached to another gene in that allele, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes the lighter half. It becomes the light. If you look at super gravel, it's dark. You look at a super asphalt, it's dark. You look at a super spectre, it's dark. Yeah. But when you look at the super yellow belly, it's a very light animal, right? Almost
Yep.
white. And so we know that when you make the highway, the animal will lose contrast as it gets older and will come sort of one color. So the theory of adding something like blackhead leopard can be GHI, can be cinnamon, any of
Mm-hmm.
those four genes, or chocolate, anything like that, that is a dark animal that is going to add darkness to the contrast regardless of what you do. And now that animal will allow you to add the tone back. That's how you're going to get the tone back. Because here's the truth, Gershon, we are artists. What we're doing now is trying to work out how things are going to look when we mix them together. This is like a art. This is like a guy with a cocktail bar, and we're making up our own cocktails. I always tell
Mm-hmm.
people, stack all the different genes together in all the recesses that you want to do. Then when you want to make a different cocktail, you just mix different snakes together to make different cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
Strategy is key. Strategy is key.
Yep. Once you know the building blocks, you can start changing the building blocks and affect them slightly different to make a different thing that you choose to make. But you got to know the basics. You got to learn the basics and the fundamentals of something. To you, once you learn the fundamentals of it, you can start changing that and getting crazy with it and changing the order of stuff, and that's when you create new things. But you have to know the basics of it first. That's the way that works.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. That actually, that's why, well, I always like to buy an animal in as a single gene. I've
Yep.
got this, like, people tell me this is, and I'll tell them, have you got a single gene? I need to see a single gene so I can see what that animal looks like. And this is, again, a good way of learning to ID animals, that when you have that single gene and you add that into a combo and you see how the animals change when you add that gene in, and it gives you, of course, this only works if you're watching, if you're paying attention,
Yep.
because a lot of guys will just shoot the pictures to some other guy and tell him, "Can you tell me what these are?" Work it out for yourself.
Yeah. I'm in the process of learning what Cypress looks like. Because I have a Cypress now. I'm in the process of learning Cypress so I can be able to pick it out of a clutch and then pick it out of other morphs when it's in other stuff
I
to
actually
see
had
where
to
it
get
is.
mine with OD. I couldn't get a single gene because they're quite
Okay.
rare and expensive. So I got mine with OD. And OD was a gene that I was okay to get it with because I know what OD is adding to the party. It's a very simple gene to have it with because we know that OD is not really affecting the pattern too much
Mm-hmm.
and bringing color to the party. you know, he offered me a Mojave cypress or an orange dream cypress, and I told him I can barely see it in Mojave. I can see there's another gene in with Mojave.
Yeah.
Stretched the Mojave out and made the pattern unusual, but it could be one of 10 genes that do that to Mojave.
Mm.
Yeah, but when I saw it with Orange Dream, I told him that's the one I want because I can see the cypress.
Yeah. Hey, a man that knows what he wants is a man that's satisfied. 100%. You knew what you wanted. You wanted to be able to see the gene so you can learn more about it. That's why you would. That makes sense. It makes sense. Oh, wow.
You can have when you get an animal as a single gene, you can start to see how the aliens are, whether the
Yep.
way that they flow, how the blushing comes up, where the white finishes. You know,
Yeah. That's smart. Yeah, that's
and and,
unfortunately everybody's
and
trying to build super fast, so that getting away from learning a single gene
well,
completely.
they're just buying that combo and then breeding that combo to that combo. But
Exactly.
how sweet is it going to be for me, Gershon? Because here's the truth: I'm 7 years in, one way or another, because I started with the corns a couple of years before I was breeding ball pythons. So I've been breeding reptiles for 7 years,
Mm-mm.
and I'm nowhere near creating anything that is like for me what I want to achieve. Well, actually, I
Hmm.
lied. My Cali bee was the first thing I wanted to make, and I made it. So I went
Yeah,
out and bought. Oh,
I wanted to make um wanted to make albinos, but then I also wanted to make albino clown, and no, I wanted to make albino inchies, and then I wanted to make albino clowns, and then I wanted to make albino inchy clowns. So I've
but,
done that now.
but it's never ending though, Gershon. It's
Exactly.
never ending because the truth is that there's always something new for us to do. There's always something different to stretch a project. We see something, we think, oh, I want to add that now, or I want to do
Yep.
that now. But that's the theory again between having your animals stacked in a certain way in your collection so that you have the ability to slightly change the way that you work. I'll say to
Hmm.
people that by the time I'm finished, I'd like to have animals that are visual recessive for one recessive and maybe het for a different one. But it doesn't necessarily mean that every year I'm going to be breeding that animal for that double recessive. It just
Hmm.
means that I have the ability to use that animal in two different projects.
Yeah, very
You
true.
know?
Very true.
So now,
And that's
so now
being um what
you
is it?
have
Is it diverse? Yeah.
well,
Or
this
flexible.
well, the way I look at it is I'll look at a slot and I'll say to myself, I've got 50 adult female slots. That isn't going to change.
Hmm.
I'm not having more than that because I don't want all them babies. It's not even taking care of the adults. You have 22, 24 clutches and you've got 160, 70 hatchlings around you and you've got a full-time job and a family.
Yeah.
It ain't no joke, bro.
That is definitely something that I've
People
realized
don't
this
people
season.
don't realize that you have this collection and you have a collection of like between 80 and 100 animals. That's your collection. You've been running that collection for a year. For you, you've got that down to a T now, Gershon. That runs in a process. You feed on that day, you do your major clean on that day, you spot clean on them days. You know, when it comes to breeding season, I pair on that day, I take out on that day, and that's the
Hmm.
way I do it. And you get your selection in a thing where you can honestly do it like that, Gershon, innit? Tie one hand behind your back, cover an eye, and you can still do it. It's not a
Yep.
problem. But then 170 hatchlings drop on your lap within a 3 month period, yeah? And now it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. I learned that this year having 14 clutches.
yeah,
Uh
try 22, bro. It was a shock to my system.
yeah.
Just the jump from 16 to 22, just the jump from 16 to 22, and actually to be fair, I had a better average this year, so my average is up per clutch because I
Oh.
had all that up. I had all that up as well, Gershon. I've got
Mhm.
paperwork for everything, bro. I've got paperwork for everything.
Organized. That's one thing I'm working on, being more organized. There's nothing wrong with it. But Mike, we've been going on for almost an hour and a half.
And Gerson's throwing
We
me
could
off.
go on for another hour and a half, most likely. But we don't want. I know for one, it's late for you.
I'm not worried. Listen,
You
I had
ready?
I went to sleep at 8 o'clock and set an alarm for 11:30 and had a three and
Okay.
a half hour nap, bro. I'm gonna stay
Okay.
up all night now and just finish off my cleaning and do my stuff, and then I'll just have an early night tonight. It'll be fine. I'm not
Okay.
going to bed until Saturday night now because I've had my sleep.
Okay. Okay. I mean, people are saying don't end it yet, but I try to keep these under an hour. Well, I try to keep them an hour because I know people's time is important and precious. So I appreciate you guys taking this time to spend with us, hanging out with us.
Hey,
Definitely.
we haven't talked about nothing, Gershon. I didn't even show a snake on this channel yet.
So
You know,
I honestly, I don't really
you
show
don't show
snakes
snakes.
on these necessarily. Like, it's up to the
Okay.
people. If they want to show a snake, that's totally fine. But these are usually more to get to know you, like just to get to know you and learn more about you. And that's what I like about these, because sometimes the snakes take the background on this when you become the star. Usually the snakes are the stars of our channels. Let's be honest. People are here for the snakes. Every so often they'll listen to us,
Hey,
but they're here for the snakes.
we're only here for the snakes, right? We're
Very
only here.
true.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase it. We're all here only because of the snakes,
Yeah,
yeah, because of the
exactly.
snakes, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
They're
you
already talking
started.
about this. So they're talking about this, and Mike might be in the works of having a regular live show. Possibly. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But
No, he said Mike needs to show something. He wants to see a snake.
oh, you want
Mike
to
needs
see?
to
Oh, I
show
read that
something.
wrong. I thought it said show as in regular show. So I might have been spilling some beans I shouldn't be spilling. But I mean,
No, we.
if you want to show something, you go right ahead. Oh, show the one with the face we were just talking about.
Okay. One
All
second.
right, let's get that one. But guys, yes, Mike's gonna show a snake off, so we can have a snake in the show. But guys, if you have any quick questions for Mike, definitely put them in the chat. We're definitely go subscribe to Mike's channel. But definitely follow him on Instagram. Instagram is where you're gonna find out where he will be on, when he'll be on other people's lives, and where he will be that week. So let's put Mike on solo so we can see this. Oh, I see it. That is so cool. That is so cool. Oh, that is so cool. Oh wow. Oh wow. So that is a
That's a
bumblebee
Cali.
calico.
Yeah, it's called a Cali bee.
Oh, Cali bee, yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Very nice.
He's got a little bit of a spiral, but he's okay. He feeds
Yeah.
well. He feeds well enough.
Clearly he's big, so you know he's eating. That face is very cool.
Hey, but you know as well, Gershon, that's another thing about me. I don't subscribe to this small male. I'm not. I just want to put this boy back. I don't want to hang him
No
out.
problem, no problem. Say the comment, subscribe. What you haven't already.
Yeah, I'm not really into that small male thing. I actually don't. I don't feel that actually it's true.
Okay.
Like for instance, the major player in all of my clown game comes from one male. He comes
Okay.
from one male. That I bought a male. That was my strategy, Gershon. When I got into this, I bought one male clown baby,
Mm-hmm.
and I went out and I tried to buy as many single gene co-dominant adult females that I could find, different genes, and I
Mm-hmm.
bred him across all of them, kept all the offspring, and then got rid of all of those single gene females and replaced them with het animals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, building blocks. Okay, I see where you
So,
build your head army slowly.
and then build my visual army. Now this year I've got 5 visuals that I produced, and I've got one more clutch in the incubator that
Okay.
I'm going to be breeding with 3 times as many hets this season than I was last season. Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm expecting 3-4 times as many visuals, and
Oh.
then we're going to start piecing them together and piecing them together. But we're starting slowly. Instead of breeding, I want to make clean yellow belly clowns, spot nose clowns, and then I will, because like I said right at the beginning, for me these 2 genes are important. I want to make a yellow belly spot nose clown, and I want to have these 2 genes separate, and I want to be able to just add them wherever I want. So we do yellow belly, blackhead, cypress, OD clown. We could do
Okay.
yellow belly, spot nose, cinnamon, enchi clown, yellow
Mm-hmm.
belly, spot nose, whatever. Just keep mixing them. Use stuff that isn't being used. Use the Justin theory, but use it your own way. Don't use
Mm-hmm.
it to make Batman's, because Justin's made Batman till the sun came up the next morning. But
Mm-hmm.
use that way in which Justin thought, right, let me go out and let me find all these co-dominant genes that nobody's working with anymore, and mix them together and make that. It's you that's causing the echo, bro.
Is it? Is
Yeah.
I think it is. Um, my mic's supposed to catch everything just in front of me, but not behind me. So I think it's projecting through a lot louder than it's supposed to. I also have to get I need to get a program that elevates the mic volume so it doesn't go too high. I need to get a program like that, but I'm not too tech savvy.
Anyway, it's not too bad anyway. So what Justin does is Justin says, right, let me find these morphs that nobody's working with, and let me just make some combos. So I
Mm,
would say to people, look at what Justin's using and go and buy what Justin's not using, because he may have already tried it and he's not been any good, or he might not have reached that gene yet.
yeah.
I'm waiting on one more. I'm going to ask you a question in a minute. I'm waiting on one more clutch, Gershon, and for me, this is the most important clutch of the year. And it's the most important clutch of the year, basically, because it will mean I'll have a het clown animal in a gene that not many people are working with. And so now I can create stuff with that genetic that is not a lot of it out there. And so maybe it might look nice. Maybe it will look rubbish and I'll have to shelve the project. But I
Mm,
don't believe it. But I don't believe it will.
okay.
And I'm not a secretive guy. Most of the people in my circle know the gene, and I've got the version called lace blackback,
Okay.
uh, which is the same as Laurie, which is the same as het red exantic. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So these are the same. These 3 genes are the same. Laurie, obviously, we all know, was founded by BHB.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Corey Woods first named the het red exanti in 2002, and Mir Suleimani is the founder of the lace blackback.
Okay.
Amir Suleimani is also the founder of one of the yellow belly lines. This is like an old school American breeder who is like not very well known, but actually was at the cutting edge of our industry 20 years ago. But a lot of people coming in now, Gershon, they're not taking the time to find out about our history, bro. I'm all
True.
about the history.
That is one thing. You got to know where it started to know where it's going. Honestly, and that's very important. Like I am I'm not gonna say I know the whole history, but I am a little lackluster on the history, and I do need to do a little more research and learn some stuff. Um, but I need
So
to take that time to do it.
you mentioned Sean earlier. That guy, he's a bit like Marmite, Sean. Yeah, you either love him or you hate him. But I love Sean because I've got no problem with that barefaced honesty. I don't have any problem with it.
True.
But that guy is an absolute wealth of knowledge. Absolute. So the knowledge that man has is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you want to, and you want to learn how to breed ball pythons, and you want to learn for free, guys, go to Marcus Jane's website. There is a full breeding program for free. You don't have to pay anybody. Step by step.
Yeah, I honestly have that bookmarked. I have it bookmarked, and I was looking at it in the first like 3 years of me doing it. I was just watching, learning,
I
reading it.
I must have read that 4 times within the first month. I just read it again, and read it again to make sure that if I missed anything, that I would pick it up again. Just like when you
Definitely.
watch a movie or something, you'll watch a movie, right, Gershon? Then you'll watch it a second or a third time, and you'll pick up something new every time that you missed, right? And it's the same when we read something, when we paying attention to something in our hobby, that because we listen to something doesn't necessarily mean that we heard all the information the first time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
sometimes we have to hear this again for us to register, or we'll be thinking about one thing, and because we're thinking about one thing, didn't pay attention, and we missed another thing. Yeah, and
Very
so we
true.
that uh, that learning is key to everything. That if we have to leave ourselves open to learn. People that think they know it all know the least, because if people that think they know it all means that they're not leaving themselves open to learn anymore, right? And
Exactly.
so you must leave yourself open, and that's just in life in general. That's not just about learning about snake breeding. That's a life thing, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always willing to learn, open, always open to a new experience, to a new way of thinking, to a different way of thinking that you used to. You never know where that might take you. 100%. 100%. Brent, thanks for coming through. Thanks. I'm glad the sounds better. I know a couple podcasts I was sounding muffled. Um, I had to
But you got
tweak
rid
some
of that
stuff.
echo now. I don't know what you just done now, but that echo's gone down a lot now.
Okay, so tweaking stuff. We still learning, still learning. Always open to learn. Peace and pets. Thanks for coming through, Brandon. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you for learning, Rob. Thanks for coming through. But Mike, besides being on F&A balls this Sunday, after I'm on there, you'll be on there on the panel. Where else can people find you?
So at the moment, Derek's just taken a few weeks off. He's got some stuff going on. Once Derek jumps back on to Thursdays, I'll be there. That okay, but basically, listen. Here's a shout out in the other way. Anybody wants me on their live, you just got to send me a link. If I'm awake, I'm there, innit? I'm not afraid to talk. I'm not a shy person, yeah, and I don't shy away from anything. Anybody
Nice.
wants to pull me up and tell me I want to talk to you on my live because I don't like the way that you can get a ball python ready in a year, and I want to call you out on it, call me out. I'm there, innit? I'll show you paperwork. I can show you paperwork. I can show you, bro. Listen, I got a 9 egg clutch in 2021 from a 19 baby bred from a 2021. The 20, hang on, let me get this right.
So she was a
Uh,
2019 baby.
let me get this right. It's what year are we now? 22. So I had a
22.
so I had a 2020 baby,
Okay.
2020 baby sitting on 9 eggs, 1 month short of her 2-year birthday, because you,
Okay.
you pair them the following year, right? They're
Yep.
about 14 months old when you start pairing them, but that's in October time, and they're not going to lay until the following year, right? So she
Mm.
was sitting on 9 eggs, She's 1 month shy of a 2-year birthday, and she was bred by a 7-month-old male.
Oh. Oh.
So if you're born in 2022, you'll be bred in 2023. If you're born in 2021, you'll be bred in 2022, and by 2023, you know the year by the end of that season, because the season runs across year. This was this question I was going to ask you, Gershon. I've got a clutch. It's going to land in about anywhere between 5 and 10 days. Okay. So it's going to be born. The clutch is going to be laid in 2022, but the eggs will hatch until 2023. Do I call that? But bear in mind that the female has not been paired this season. That the last time she was paired was in March. Okay. Do I class that clutch as a 2022 clutch? Or do I class that clutch as a 2023 clutch?
So
how do you see that? How do you see that?
Because the breakdown would be if you time the clutch by when the eggs drop or when the babies hatch. That's where it really breaks down.
Right. So how do you see that?
I break down
because don't forget. Wait. Before you answer this, that don't forget that if even the ones of us that do the smallest amount of paperwork, we surely write down when the clutch arrives and we give it some sort of code.
True.
And we do that when the clutch arrives. So the way I do it is every clutch. So this year's clutches will be 22 for the year. 01 was the first clutch of the year, and 10, 11, and so forth. And then the amount of babies, so it'll be 22, 0101, 22, 0102, 22, 0103. That will be clutch 1. Clutch 7 will be 2207, and then the first animal will be 01, the second animal 02, and every animal gets a clutch number and a clutch. So I do that numbering. So I'll give the clutch a number when it's born, when the clutch is laid. So I'm going to put on there.
So if you give the clutch the number when it's laid, then that would be a 2022 clutch.
But the animals are born in 2022. Listen, I'm not arguing with you. People were arguing with me that Derek and a couple of other guys told me, no, the babies are born in 2023. You've got to call it 2023.
So I would call it two things. Actually, now that I think about it, it'd be two things. It'd be a 2022 clutch, but these would be 2023 babies. Because I don't give babies their ID number until they're out of the egg. So their ID number is usually...
But doesn't their ID number correlate with their clutch number? Doesn't it correlate with their clutch number? And didn't you give that clutch a number when that clutch was hatched?
So, yeah, I guess it would be 2022. Yeah. They would be the first babies of 2023, but they will be the last clutch of 2022.
Right, because the financial year doesn't run from 1st of January to the 31st.
No, it doesn't.
Right? In the UK, the financial year is 1st of April until the 31st of March. That's the financial year. So it's still part of the 2022 season. I can tell somebody who's buying a hatchling, this baby was actually born in January, but it was and the pairing is... The sire is from 2022 season.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be a 2022 clutch. It would go down in the 2022 clutch, but those would be the first babies of 2023.
Yeah.
So that's just they just will be those babies of 2023, but they wouldn't
be their ID
the
number
first clutch.
You'll say 2022.
Exactly.
Their ID number.
they wouldn't be the first clutch of 2023, but they'll be the first babies hatched in 2023.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a weird, but also happens because my last clutch is gonna get real close to December. I think they're supposed to hatch December 20th, maybe 20th.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you should be okay, even if they're
So
a few days late. You should
they
be okay.
should stay in unless they take forever. So I don't mark their hatch date until every baby's out of the egg. So if one baby gets out the egg quicker than others, it'll get that last baby's hatch day. So that will be their birthday. That's how I do it. So the last baby out of that day, that's everybody's birthday.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So unless they stay in that egg for 10 extra days.
Although I don't leave them in, what I do is I'll set my hatchling box up, and as they're born, I will remove them and put them in the box. I put them in one box, but I just don't like to leave them in the. But actually, you know what it is. What do you use as the incubation substrate, Gershon?
So I use water. I use water and sponges on top of a light diffuser. That's what I do.
So do you leave the light diffuser in until the end?
So what I do is once I cut the clutch, I take the sponge, the light diffuser, and the water out, and I use paper towels, wet paper towels, after I've cut the clutch. So they're sitting in there on wet paper towels. Not super wet, just damp paper towels to keep the humidity.
I just want to point something out here. That's actually, you need to always be careful, Gershon, that paper towel is not too damp, because I made a mistake one year, and a mistake that I learned from, and basically here's how this works. I used to be that guy that would mix my vermiculite quite wet, because I wouldn't care, because I put the light diffuser over the top, okay? And then I started hearing, oh, once you cut the clutch, you should remove the light diffuser because the snake might get trapped in the light diffuser.
Yep.
Right? So we start removing the light diffuser. What evidently happened to me this particular time was I had my vermiculite too wet. And when I put the eggs directly on the vermiculite, the moisture absorbed into the bottom of the egg and actually made the yolk go off, because the yolk got wet. Just be careful with that method. Yeah, the paper towel.
I always check. I'll lift up the egg and see how wet under the egg it is. If I can see that the egg is under it so wet that it's starting to change the color of the egg at the bottom, I put the light diffuser back down and put it on top of it, because that egg is getting too wet and is absorbing too much moisture through that.
Actually, to be honest, I don't remove the diffuser when I cut now. I remove the diffuser when the first baby is crawling out. You know, I might even wait till the first baby is out before, because I want to leave. Actually, to be quite honest, because I've started mixing my vermiculite much drier.
Okay.
Yeah, because I believe that around 85% humidity will suffice, and that I'm changing the way I incubate, because I think that I'm incubating too well, because I'm using food quality containers that don't allow any evaporation of humidity. So what I've noticed through studies is that for the first 4 to 5 weeks of an egg's gestation period, the egg will be absorbing moisture. If you were to pick up the lid of my tub in the first 5 weeks, there's just that very, very thin film of humidity on the top of the tub. Once you get to about week 5, the eggs start to expel humidity. And people who have what I would call a more perfect way of incubation will find that as the eggs start to expel humidity, the eggs will start to collapse. When you have a too good a seal like I have, then the eggs don't collapse. You get to day 55 and they're buff. because that moisture has nowhere to escape from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now what I've started doing, and I tried this with the last 2 clutches of the year, and it seems to be working fine, is once I get to about 5 weeks, I peel that lid off, and instead of pushing it back on, I just sit it on.
Okay. Give
so
it that
now,
airflow. It's got
yeah,
somewhere to escape.
because I'm not worried about the animals not being able to breathe. I don't subscribe to that. I
Exactly.
peel my tubs open once a week anyway to check my eggs. So this is enough. Yeah, whether you're using press and seal, whether you're using some sort of other way, I don't. I think that for me, the issue was that I was keeping too much humidity in the egg box, and thus
Itself,
making the eggs stay buff because they weren't able to expel the humidity.
That's
So
okay.
it's a yin and a yang. Like, you
Yeah.
have to pay attention to stuff like that. But what I've started doing, I've started making my vermiculite drier.
Okay.
So not dry, but drier, and more
Yeah.
like how you would make it if you weren't going to bother using light diffuser.
Mhm.
There's a correct mix where you don't need light diffuser. You
True.
just settle. If you watch Freedom Breeder, I watched many years ago a video of Freedom Breeder setting up eggs, and that guy mixes this vermiculite really dry so that when you squeeze it, no moisture comes out, but there's more in it. And he doesn't
Yeah.
even set the eggs on top, bro. He puts the eggs in and he buries them under the vermiculite.
Oh yeah.
He buries them under
I
the
remember
vermiculite.
those. Huh. Yeah, I
See, and the reason I want to take my animals out once they've come out the eggs is I hate seeing a snake with a little bit of vermiculite on its eye and something.
Yeah.
And I just think, man, if that was on my eye, I would be so frustrated. Like, let me get that animal out of there. Let me give it a wash. Let me put it somewhere where it's going to be.
Just to get all that goop off. It's so much goop on there. I used to 1 year I took
Hey, I love you, bro.
1 year I took the cocoa, and once I cut the eggs, I would put them on cocoa. I would wet the cocoa and then put them on the cocoa, and the eggs would sit there on the cocoa. Only thing I didn't like about that is they still got dirty when they came out because they're still slimy and stuff.
And here's the truth. That for me, you should always keep them on paper until they've had their first shed. And it's nothing to do with anything else. This is this simple one reason only. Until their umbilicus slit heals up. Because the last thing you want is dirt and stuff getting inside that slit before it heals. And we all know that some animals are not born with a perfectly sealed umbilicus.
True.
Yeah. So the last thing you want is bits of cocoa dust and stuff getting in there and healing in with it. No, sir, not me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that is a very good point. That's a very good point. What's up, Wiz? Thanks for coming through. Yeah, I saw Black Panther last night. We're gonna have to talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about it here because I will spoil stuff for people, and I don't want to do that to you guys. But yes, I seen it last night. We will definitely be talking about it in the next couple of days or so. But before we go, guys, we have to say thank you to our sponsor one more time.
Shout to Mike.
Definitely. So let me click this video. Yep, right up there. Let me click the sponsor video. Here we go. This episode is sponsored by Herp Collectors. They're a family-run business specializing in investment quality morphs to help other breeders achieve their project dreams and beyond. They are working with a couple different morphs specifically. Their baseline is Clown, Desert Ghost, and Hypo. And they're dabbing a little bit in the Ultra Male and Pies as well. So definitely check them out for ball python needs. They are slowly coming up in the industry, and they're going to be producing some amazing animals very soon. But that's not all. They also have a YouTube channel. Of course, you know we're all about YouTube over here. They do a live podcast on their YouTube channel every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called Clutch Conversations. It's a great podcast. I was actually on it, and Mike does an amazing job interviewing guests. He also brings guests from all over the industry and talks to them. It's a definite watch if you're free on Thursdays. And if you're not, you can still listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast apps. Their mission is also to share the excitement of working with these reptiles, as well as bringing people together to promote and preserve our hobby. So what are you waiting for? Go follow and subscribe to their YouTube, their Instagram, their Facebook, and their TikTok. Thanks for sponsoring this episode, Herb Collectors. Thanks again, Mike, for sponsoring this episode. Greatly appreciate it. Go check out his Instagram, YouTube, Morph Market, and you can find his audio version of his podcast, wherever podcast apps can be found. But Mike, thank you so much for coming on. Like I always assumed, this was going to be a good conversation. A lot of knowledge dropped.
2 hours. At least I managed.
We broke 2 hours.
Broke 2 hours. I could just flip you 1 minute, Gershon, and keep you here for another 45 minutes. It's really simple for me, bro. I just flip you like that, you know.
I mean, I am going to tell you this is a good conversation.
And imagine that here's the truth, that I was trying to throw it in somewhere and I missed it because I even Googled this, because I know that you're into that superhero stuff and Star Wars and all that stuff. And I know absolutely nothing about that stuff. Yeah. And I Googled it, that my sister took me to see the original Star Wars movie in 1977.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw it when it came out in 1977.
Okay.
I was seven, bro. I was 7. It was the first time I'd ever been to the cinema, and I've never seen any Star Wars movies since.
Oh, I mean, that's a good movie to start with. Honestly, it's a good movie to start with. It didn't grab you though, unfortunately, but it's a good movie to start with. Oh wow! You got to see it in theaters. That's pretty cool. So do you remember if you liked it or not, or is it just wasn't your cup of tea, wasn't your thing?
Honestly, Gershon, I only can remember walking into the cinema and being my first time, and my sister took me to a place called the Empire, Leicester Square. So the biggest cinema in central London. It took me for my first McDonald's that day, and that day I had my first McDonald's and my first visit to the cinema. And I don't really remember the movie. I just remember that banked auditorium. It was the first time I'd been in that type of place, and I was fascinated by that banked auditorium. I'd never been in a room like that in my life, and I still remember the banked auditorium.
Okay. Thanks so much. Thank you guys for coming by, hanging out with us, enjoying this knowledge Mike is dropping, enjoying the time with each other. Definitely make sure you're subscribed to each other in the chat. Everybody should be blue, so you can just click on anybody's name and it goes right to their channel. Hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps somebody grow. Help everybody grow. Help each other out. That's the only way to do this. If we help each other, we all can grow together. 100%, guys.
That's the love there.
100%. Guys, make sure you go follow Mike. Follow his Instagram mostly, because that's where he'll let you know where he's going to be. He's going to let you know what live he's going to be popping up on. So that's how you'll find Mike most likely, is his Instagram. That'll take you to somebody else's channel to watch him on live. Drop more knowledge as he did tonight for you guys.
I don't know nothing. I'm just some old guy from the UK.
Just a guy. What's up, Kai? Thanks for coming by. You got to rewatch. We're almost done.
You're late, bro.
You rewatch it. But guys, thank you so much.
Hey, Gershon, thank you for having me, bro. It's been a pleasure. I was really looking forward to this. You know that when you hit me up and you told me about that pre-recorded show, and I said to you, no way, bro, because you know that I'm a man of the people and I have to be here, like live with the people. Like I wanted to be able to be there live for this. So, and thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I'm humbled by being able to be on here with you, bro.
Oh man, the pleasure's all mine, Mike.
You pop my
100%.
cherry, bro. You pop my cherry. Like, no, God, this is my first ever. You know, I was quite. It's funny, isn't it, that I'm not a nervous guy, and I got no problem. And I talk for England. It's no problem. But I was
Mhm.
sitting there earlier today thinking, actually, it's the first time technically the focus is on me in the
Yeah.
sense. I talk a lot. We know you'll see me on a live, and I take over the live and start talking, and I'm guilty of this. I try to stop myself from doing this sometimes because I know that I've got like a loud voice and like I've got a lot of energy, and sometimes I can be a little bit overpowering, and I'm kind of aware of that. And but I was a bit nervous, thinking, oh wow, like there's nobody for me to sort of take a step back from now and sort of hide behind, you know.
Yeah, you get to shine. You get to shine, Mike, and you definitely shine today, 100%.
Thank you,
Dropping
sir.
so much knowledge. Just
Thank you.
your attention to detail is fascinating.
But it's
Like
that.
you've made me start to pay attention to stuff now. I'm gonna be looking stuff differently.
But Gershon, all jokes aside, it is attention to detail that is going to set you above everybody else, because
Definitely.
everybody does that 80%, right, bro? Everybody, if you're not doing that 80%, you need to check yourself, because that 80% is what is required for you to keep your animals in a correct and clean way. That's that 80%. That 20% at the top is optional,
Hmm.
but that 20% at the top is what is going to make you go up faster, because you're going to gain knowledge by paying attention and try
Hmm.
to think of things. You know, when I talk about things like breathing, feeding certain rodents, I try to think about things in a logical way. What would happen in the wild? In the wild, how would that be? Yeah. How can that be like that? Because in the wild, it wouldn't be like that. The animal couldn't get that. It couldn't be
Yep.
there, you know. And so try to think about how it would work out there in the wild, and try to obviously we can't replicate the wild, but just try
True.
to be a bit more natural in the way that you do things, and not natural as into, but more nature as in the way nature would do it. Yeah.
Exactly. And pay attention to your animals. Your animals are telling you all the information you need half the time, and we're just not listening. Sometimes you just got to stop and listen. 100%.
Because the
All right, guys.
1,000 gram wool is about that, right, Gershon? The
Yeah.
1,000 gram wool is about slow growing an animal. And I'll tell you what 1,000 gram wool is. 1,000 gram wool is a female that is sexually mature and wants to be bred, but because you grew it so slow, and our hobby tells you that at 1,000 grams she's too small to breed, you won't breed her. She won't eat because she doesn't need to get any more fat content, because she's,
Hmm.
you know, these animals are smarter than we think. They are here on this earth to eat and breed. And if they're not breeding, they don't need to eat.
True. True.
Right, I'm gone because you just tried to finish the show on me and I cut you off. So I'm going to let you finish the show this time, Jason.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
this is gonna happen. This is what me and Mike's phone calls conversation go. We'll start talking. One of us will end, and then we'll bring something up. We're like, well, we're gonna talk about this for another 10 minutes, so let's get into this, and then it keeps going. That's good conversation, though. That is good conversation, guys. But
But
as
you're
Mike
good
said,
people, bro. You're
let's
good
end the
people.
show. Mike can be found on many other podcasts. Go check him out when he's on live streaming, dropping knowledge throughout the community. But thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for hanging out. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everybody that stayed here and watched me rabble on about rubbish and just go on, you know.
Drop knowledge and gems that we will be holding. Because I don't normally re-listen to my podcast because I don't like to hear the sound of my voice. But I'm gonna re-listen to this and pay attention a different way to pick up gems. So that's gonna be my homework assignment for myself now. So I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. But guys, if you are still gonna be up tonight, Hair Down Fridays is possibly still going on. I think it's going on.
Yeah, come
We're
on,
on
of course
Keys
it is.
Constrictors.
You're not going to jump over there, Gershon?
I gotta
You're not
go eat. I'm already been yelled at by my wife. She's texted me 3 times. Your food's getting cold. You better go
Oh,
eat it.
that's what's going on tonight, right? I lost out to the wife.
Hey, happy
Oh,
wife, happy
no,
life. I don't like sleeping on the couch. It's not comfortable. But I'm gonna go. But if you are still gonna be up, go watch Hair Down Fridays on Keys Constrictor's channel. Iron Dog, I believe, comes on later tonight as well, and a few other people. Michaela should be on live. And I think there's one more person, but I'm forgetting. So forgive me for forgetting. But check out anybody's live that's going on. Go show the love. Go spread the love around the community, and find somebody new. Here's homework for Simon for everybody. Find somebody's channel that you've not watched before, and go watch it. Go give them a follow. Go give them a like. Show them a little support. You never know how far that would go to encourage and keep somebody chasing that dream. So definitely go try to do that and support any part of the community you can and show that love out there. But thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And hopefully you guys are having a good weekend. Hopefully you have a good Thanksgiving coming up. And I'll see you guys later. Oh, my birthday's next week. So say happy birthday to me in chats and stuff like that on the 17th. But hey, you guys, have a good night. Love you all. Bye-bye.